I wanted to answer this because I have felt the same way, and we all have some version of this. Like when it comes to making like a roux and stuff like that, I can do a lot of that. But for example, I learned what the mother sauces were like 10 or 12 years ago. So let's take this line by line and go over it. So he says, I work as a pantry chef in a hotel. I've got 5 years of kitchen experience. Okay, not bad. 5 years of experience. Even just working as a fry cook, there's a lot of things that you learn, like sense of urgency and various different things. And there are some techniques that you do learn even working at like a Chili's and stuff like that. Only problem is, I've never worked in a Chili's, but I heard they use the microwave a lot, which is a problem. So let's see. Prep at an Italian place. It's good. It's always good to learn prep. Just keep feeling like nothing has ever clicked for me. Well, maybe it hasn't. I never come up with my own recipes. Okay, here's the secret. There is no such thing as an original recipe. And let me correct myself. So there are original recipes out there, but it gets to the point where in order to make something truly original, it's probably going to taste bad because there's a reason why nobody has made it or nobody has tried to sell it. Anything that you can think of in the world, somebody else probably already did and is probably doing it better than you. And it's okay. So developing recipes is about learning to develop the flavors themselves, learning to pair sweet and salty, learning techniques like brining the chicken before you cook it. When people say they cook with love, they're really saying they cook with extra steps. And learning all those little extra steps, one at a time, you'll eventually build a whole skill set. If you learn to brine chicken, that's something that's really easy to do that makes it taste better. And you can do it with turkey and lots of other stuff. You could learn the basic construction of doing like a rub for steaks or for roasts. You know, there's a lot of little bits and pieces that you can learn that add up to something bigger. A lot of cooking is scientific and I don't want to say scientific. So a lot of cooking is actually something that there are fundamentals and rules. Like, for example, cooking roast. I just did a video about cooking a roast. Cooking a roast to about 125 degrees, you know that you need to take it out to let it rest, and then it'll go up another 10 or 15 degrees. You know that cooking to tenderness usually means low and slow. There is actually even times that you can find that are always true. The thing is that when you're cooking to tender, say you're cooking a pork butt and you're slow roasting it and you're going to turn it into pulled pork, there is an exact amount of minutes per pound that if you follow that, it's always going to turn out the same way. So once you learn that and you learn a rub, boom, you know a new recipe. See, that's how it works. And what it realistically is a quality of experience issue, because a bar and grill and Chili's, it's not going to have good quality experience. There's things that I don't know because even with 20 years of experience, 4 of those years were at a Perkins where I was microwaving a lot of food. Our most expensive meal was microwaved for like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something like that. And it was like 13, 14 bucks, right? I did learn how to cook steak though. I got really good at cooking steak to the point where people would specifically request me, which kind of made my head a little big on that. If you were to ask me to prepare a ganache or an aioli or a custard or a curd or a roux, I would give you a blank stare. The thing is, you know what you don't know, and that gives you a leg up on everybody else. If you know that you don't know how to do a roux or a custard or a curd or an aioli, learn it. Just learn it. Go on Google, search basic aioli or ChatGPT, do basic aioli recipe, and you'll have it. And then you can learn how to do it, and then just practice that all week. Or make a big batch, or maybe record yourself doing it. The whole reason I started this channel, it started out as recipes, but I was recording the recipes that I was doing, and I could go back and look at them over and over again. And I was like, oh, maybe people would like to see these. But then I noticed those didn't get a lot of views, so I ended up doing videos more like this, which seemed to do a lot better. But knowing what you don't know is literally 2/3 of the battle. There is no shame in looking something up and practicing. And if you screw it up, you screw it up. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Failure is an option. True failure is when you don't learn from those mistakes or those failures. All these people working around me seem so adept at what they're doing. They're probably not. I mean, some of them probably are, but Most people are like you and me, and they feel insecure about a certain knowledge base. They know how to do what they're doing in that specific space. But if you take them and put them in a barbecue competition, for example, some of them may not be able to hang at all. You put them in a fine dining situation and you have them do a Wellington from scratch. Some of these people probably can't trim a fillet, or even know where the fillet comes from on a cow. Like there's always things that we don't know, and it's a lifelong learning process. I'm not giving any hate to these people. I'm just explaining, like, just because they look like they're adept at what they're currently doing doesn't mean that they have, like, the knowledge, All these people working around me seem so adept at what they're doing, it makes me feel like I'm a puppy among pit bulls. Well, maybe you are. I don't know. I don't know anything about where you're currently working or who these people are. I would love to be better at my job. That's awesome. Culinary arts isn't my passion. Well, that's sad. But it's only because I feel like I'm bad at it. Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm here for. So sub to my channel and watch all my videos. I have like 200 videos up. I have a whole thing on ServeSafe that I apparently am never going to finish because I procrastinate the crap out of everything. Let's see. I can use a mandolin and keep my fingertips. I have what I assume are decent knife skills because I can mince dice julienne without cutting myself. I could tell a burger. Okay, right there. You're better than like 80% of cooks. If you can use a mandolin and not cut yourself, you know to temp burgers out to begin with, and you actually care about the doneness, knowing what minced dice and julienne are, and knowing what the difference is, like those are a big deal. There's a lot of cooks that you say julienne something and they give you a blank stare, the way that you're talking about a blank stare for like a custard. A lot of times those types of things are just not learned because, like, okay, so I talked about the 5 mother sauces earlier and like derivatives of them. So you might learn those in culinary school, but maybe the only sauce you make are marinara and Alfredo at an Italian place. Obviously not authentic Italian because it's got chicken parm and chicken Alfredo or whatever. But anyways, say those are the only 2 sauces you make. You're going to learn how to make those 2 sauces really well, but as time goes on and you don't make a hollandaise for 5-10 years, you lose that knowledge. And that to me, it feels embarrassing to me when I'm like, man, I knew how to do this. Why don't I know how to do this? And it's because it's perishable knowledge. Things go away. But having nice skills and using a mandolin, that's already 100% better. I hope somebody else has felt the same. Yep, they do. Maybe I have the wrong mindset. No, you don't. You don't have the wrong mindset because you made a post about it. The wrong mindset is to just assume you're a loser, have no self-esteem, and give up. That's the wrong mindset. The right mindset is to say, look, I've been doing this for a while. I want to get better. I'm reaching out for help. I'm asking for people to help me. Can someone please help me? And there will always be people around to help you. Now, on Reddit and on Facebook and a lot of other places, there's a lot of really big jerks that want to make you feel like crap, and they like crapping on other people because it makes them feel better about themselves. But there's also people like me. I do videos, but there's also people like me out there that they want to show people things. They want to teach them and show them. A lot of my stuff is soft skills, but, go to, I always bring up like French Cooking Academy because they do a lot of, like, you learn how to, like, I don't know how to make a tuile very good. I think it's called tuile. I've made them, but I'm not like an expert at them. I'd have to make them a lot more to get better at them. I'd love to hear how I could be thinking of things differently to make me better. That's it. That's what I have to say, is stop being so hard on yourself. Acknowledge that there are things that you don't know. Be okay with your level of knowledge. You've had some poor quality experience, just like me and a lot of other people, but there are still things that you've learned that give you a leg up on the average person and even a lot of other cooks. If you're showing up on time, you're dedicated to your job, you're dedicated to learning, you learn from your mistakes, you learn from your failures, you're going to be just fine. You're going to get this kind of like paralysis analysis thing where you watch all my videos or you've been watching YouTube on how to cook for years and you're not any better because you're not applying any of it. So the number one thing is when you learn a new skill, practice it, get better at it, and get to the point where you can show somebody else. That's how you know that you're going to be awesome.